So here we are, week 4 with Brave Girls from a Distance. And I don't know about you guys, but just being totally transparent, I've kind of struggled here lately. And it's not that it's an issue of fear, but more isolation and probably being inside my head too much. And you probably can relate to that. So I thought I would shake things up a little bit today and show you one of my favorite things, because I think when we get so focused on the negativity or the things that we want to happen that we don't see happening quickly, for me, I can spend a lot of time in, like I said, in my own head, where I throw a pity party and then I invite all my bad memories and things of the past that maybe didn't work out so well. So I thought I want to refocus. And so one of the things that I love is the beach, and I love Christmas, so voila, 2 of my favorite things. So I wanted to show you my Christmas tree. Well, it's not really my Christmas tree, it's my beach tree that I keep up all year long in my bedroom. So I just want to kind of give you a close-up. We made these cute little ornaments out of popsicle sticks, so you can be real creative and show ingenuity. I love the color blue, I love white, I love all colors, but see my seahorse there. We got fishy, crab crossing. Most of these we made ourselves, and we had a lot of fun doing them. But anyway, I don't know, it just helps me to refocus when I think about things that I love, things that I've made, good memories. So one of the verses that I was reading this morning as I was sitting in my closet, because that's when I have my best time talking to God, was Proverbs 13:12. And Miss Jenny and I talked about that this week. And that verse says that hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a longing fulfilled is a tree of life. And it made me think of one of my other favorite verses, Proverbs 34:7, where it says, delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. So think about those 2 verses. Hope deferred makes the heart sick. So you're sitting and waiting and you're thinking, gosh, why hasn't this happened in the time frame that I want? Forget the time frame that God wants, because that's ultimately what we should want for, what we should wish for and hope for. It says hope deferred. So when we're waiting, and we don't see happen what we want to happen, it makes our heart sick. But it said in the last part of that, but a longing or a desire fulfilled is a tree of life. And so just like in the next verse I mentioned, 34:7, delight yourself in the Lord. Delight yourself in what he wants. Pray for what he wants, and then he will give you the desires, the longings of your heart. So I wanted to share that. I want to give you a little bit of encouragement, because I've kind of been down lately. I miss you guys. I want to see your face. I know we've had one girl leave, Steviana, and then we have a new girl, Isabella. And so welcome. I can't wait to meet you in person. So we've been doing a devotional each week, 100 Days to Brave. So here's our little book, and I'm going to read it for today. So this would be week 4. Look for brave. Acts chapter 4 verse 13 says, the officials were amazed to see how brave Peter and John were, and they knew that these 2 apostles were only ordinary men, and they weren't very well educated. The officials were certain that these men had been with Jesus. And it's amazing, when I spend time with Jesus, when I spend time in prayer, there's something different about me. There's something different about everyone who spends time with God. There is a glory that comes from you that others can see, and they want a part of that. So let's dig into what Annie has to say. Every day, Annie says, I hear story after story of courage. Not a bad gig, to tell you the truth. I have people who email me, text me, and tag me on the internet as they share their brave stories. And as I travel around the country and I speak to groups, you can't imagine how many stories of courage I get to hear. Each time I think, man, I wish everyone could hear this. There is something super powerful about putting brave on display in your life, in the lives of the people that you love, in the art you see that you read or that you hear. When we see brave in the world, it inspires us, don't you think? I think that's why not only do we need to share our bravery, but we need to actively look for it as well. I know you have friends like I do who are being braver than they knew they could be in their everyday lives. Do you see brave when you look around your life? In the face in the mirror, as well as in the faces you see when you're gathered with your people? Who is displaying courage? Someone battling a disease, acting in spite of fear, chasing a dream? Where do you see brave moments in your family, in your own life, in your friends? Are you reading something that sounds brave? Have you watched a film that reminded you of something brave? Courage is in the arts all the time, and I'm not just referring to the movie Braveheart, though she says she loves Scotland, and she doesn't mind that movie either. It's pretty inspiring. Sometimes I'll even look for movies or books along a theme that I'm struggling with. Most recently, as a new relationship began to grow with a man in a different city, I read a book about a couple who survived a long-distance relationship. I needed their courage to remind me to be brave. Even though it was fictional, spoiler alert, my relationship ended. I think when you hear other stories, they will sound like your story, and you'll realize that you are braver than you give yourself credit. And we will cheer for each other and see courage in each other, and we will all be braver for it. So in the yellow highlighted portion right here, she says, when we see brave out in the world, it inspires us, doesn't it? So her challenge, and my challenge to you is this week, when you see something brave, point it out, say it. You girls have an unbelievable amount of bravery and courage that I've seen in you. So hang in there. We're going to update you on your little flower pots and your flowers, and we've got a great lesson about the flood this week. So hang on.